Egg yolk, what is going on with the viewers of the tube? My name is Tyler and I think you should know me by now because we just surpassed 100K subs on this tube. I want to thank each and every one of you for your continued support, even if it sometimes feels like we are isolated on our own little island.
Чё, пацаны, проезд подорожал, да, в автобусе? В Новобайдаевку поплыли, да? Ну, как подешевле. Где остановка-то следующая? А там как приплывем, так приплывем. Понятно.
You know our Hucklesnowberry Finn. It's time for Chico Crypto. Well, my friends, the correlation between stonks and crypto is beginning to move in such a sweet tandem. When the two are trading together, as in the stock market and the crypto markets are open at the same time, the stock market leads crypto on where it will go, up, down, or sideways. But when the stock markets close at 4 p.m. on weekdays and for the weekend, the crypto market is a leading indicator of where things are going. If there is a fat dump during the night or even over the weekend, usually the stock market opens with a dump. So if you don't know what is going on, we have traders, large whales, who are playing both sides of the markets, which is obvious when you look at a well-known whale and what he is saying in the space. 2 days ago, Mike Novogratz of Galaxy Digital was on Bloomberg Business, and he said he was short on stocks and credit and long on Bitcoin. Let's listen in.
How is your macro book positioned right now?
You know, I got short Friday for the first time in a while, both stocks and credit. Kind of selling into the Fed's last, big bazooka of buying high yield. But, it's not a structural position. It's a tactical position. I'll trade short for a while. But it was the first time I've really been big short, since the lows. I also, I still am long gold. I'm long Bitcoin. We are seeing a monetization of debt like we have never seen in our lifetimes. And it's not just here in the U.S., right, with the Fed buying everything. It's a global monetization. And to me, in the long run, that has to make hard assets look better. Gold has certainly been outperforming. Bitcoin's an interesting story. This is the time for Bitcoin. It got wiped out in the
Hang on a second. I've heard that before. I've heard this is the time for Bitcoin before. Why is this the time for? Why, if central banks around the world are embarking on a monetary debasement that dwarfs quantitative easing, why is Bitcoin at 6,700 and not at 25,000?
You got to still remember it's an 11-year-old experiment, and it's only in the last year where it really has become a macro weapon, an investment choice. And I'm seeing, literally in the last month, hedge funds and high net worth individuals who had never bought it before who are buying it. And so it's no longer a question of explain it to me, how does it work, what does this mean? It's like, okay, I'm going to take a risk. Listen, the risk on any store of value, if it's gold, is that enough people believe in it. And so it's still a question of adoption. I'm just seeing more adoption here in the U.S. and in Europe than I have literally since I started this. Why is it down? Listen, Asian retail is still a big part of this. The Chinese economy is getting hit. There's a lot of leverage in the system in the Asian retail side of crypto, and so there are still sellers coming out of Asia. The China-U.S. relation and the China-European relationships are going to be relooked at in lots of ways as the dust settles in this thing, and so I think the heaviness that we see even overnight, right? Bitcoin is down 500 points, is mostly coming out of Asia. And so it's something we're looking into. But the positive side is I literally see new players coming in every day. And, we have the halving coming up. Bitcoin is a instrument with no inflation or with very little inflation, and the inflation rate is getting cut in half right as the Fed is saying, we'll print as many dollars as you can want.
So Mikey boy, he states 100% yes, he is playing both sides of the market, although he is short on Finance 1.0 and long on hard assets like gold and Bitcoin, because this is Bitcoin's time to shine. The Bloomberg host asks, and why is the price going down? And Mike answers, Asia and China is the reason. Leverage is the reason. And let's replay this clip at the end.
And so I think the heaviness that we see even overnight, right? Bitcoin is down 500 points, is mostly coming out of Asia. And so it's something we're looking into.
He says Bitcoin's downward pressure is coming mostly out of Asia, and there is something we're looking into. Who the frick is frickin' Weir? Is it his Galaxy Digital, or does this go deeper? Well, you know, Chico, we think it goes a bit deeper than that, and figuring this out might just tell us where the markets will be headed in the future. So we know Mike Novogratz is the head of Galaxy Digital, who considers themselves as sort of a crypto merchant bank, providing institutional services like crypto asset management, principal investments, crypto asset trading, and advisory services. That is Mike's crypto company, but he doesn't come from the BTC world, just like most of the prominent whales to this day. They come from the Finance 1.0 world. Mike Novo is originally a part of the Fortress Investment Group, who was listed on the New York Stock Exchange. There is Mikey during their IPO 13 years ago in 2007, when they were the first hedge fund and private equity company to go public within the United States. And one of the most disappointing IPOs ever. It opened high back in 07 at 37 buckaroos, over double the IPO price, which was 16. But it crashed harder than a Binance IEO. And in 2017, the Japanese conglomerate SoftBank purchased Fortress for $3.3 billion and took it private again. Literally one of the worst IPOs ever, as public investors got absolutely wrecked, while the founders got massive paydays, one at IPO launch, one at time for sale. But what happened with Mike and Fortress? Well, according to this Fall of Fortress article, Fortress's woes exploded in public view in 2015, when Michael Novogratz, one of the firm's principals and an industry luminary who had joined from Goldman Sachs, retired after shutting down his drawbridge macro fund following wrong-headed bets on everything from Brazil to China. And this Wall Street Journal article tells us more. Michael Novogratz, one of Wall Street's most famous investors, recently decided to leave Fortress Investment Group LP and close his macro hedge fund after it lost about $100 million over the past 2 months from investments in Brazil, according to people familiar with the matter. And to top that, earlier in the year, the fund lost $150 million in a single day from wagers placed by a different Fortress trader against the Swiss franc, who was under Michael's control. And the latest losses left the fund down 17.5% for the year through September, according to a regulatory filing. So Mike, he messed up big time and lost that fund a ton of money, which hit public investors the hardest. But Mike made out like a bandit. According to this article, Fortress would buy back a stake in the firm for about $255.6 million. What did Mike do with that money? He went on to form Galaxy Digital, and I wonder how that performed. Well, Mike's firm got absolutely wrecked in 2018, posting over a $272 million loss for 2018. And in 2019, when we experienced another bull run to 14K, Mike still lost money, a net loss of $33 million for 2019. And what has recently hit the firm? Well, with the poor performance due to the terrible bets and trades, Mike and Galaxy announced in February they would be laying off 15% of their workforce, even before the madness swept this world. But more pain. Just 11 days ago, Joshua Lim, their head of trading strategy, announced he would be leaving the firm to explore new opportunities. Losing streak after losing streak after losing streak. Don't you want to win, Mike? So when we see Mike is getting mad about Bitcoin going down when it should be going up and they will look into it, I know exactly what he means. What is the fuel of the crypto markets right now? Well, if you go to CoinGecko and look at coins ranked by volume, Tether is the #1 most traded crypto asset based on volume alone, averaging nearly 25% more daily volume than Bitcoin, even though its market cap is 95% smaller. Does that make sense? No. So unless you're wearing a blindfold while looking at crypto data, You know Tether controls the markets, but Mike, he plays coy. Just a year ago in April of 2019, he tweeted, "Galaxy has zero exposure to Bitfinex or Tether. My own sense is that they are less integral to the crypto community than they once were. That said, it's not a positive thing that has happened. The herd won't come until we operate with transparency and professionalism." Bullcrap, Mike. You know how integral they are to the crypto community, as you were a customer of theirs, as the New York AG has documentation that says your Galaxy Digital was in the process of becoming a customer. So what about operating with transparency and professionalism? Lying about your exposure and getting caught with your pants down by the New York AG isn't what you preach. So you preach that the traditional markets are going down, yet you are long on Bitcoin. Are you telling the truth about that? Well, who was Mike involved with besides the dark side of USDT? None other than the institutional scumbags of the space, Bakkt. Galaxy Digital was a Series A investor in the $182 million plus round, which includes the likes of Microsoft. Then, just a year after the investment, Galaxy becomes a customer of Bakkt, making the first block trade on the platform. A block trade, what is that? It's a massive off-the-books private trade made to not move the markets. That trade was announced 6 months ago, October 4th, 2019, while BTC was at 8K. Well, just 20 days later, Mike was on CNBC talking about BTC. And this totally tells us he put in longs as Bitcoin started to drop into the 7K range. Let's listen in.
So you look at charts, and at this point, you figure Bitcoin could go back to 4?
No, I think
4,000.
I'm hoping it holds here, but I think
it holds at around
6,500 would be the next downside target.
And the high.
I think you've got to get back through like 8,200 first, and if it gets back through 8,200, we're then back in the kind of 8,000, 10,000 range. It's going to need new energy to really make the big move. Now, some positive things are happening, right? The New York Stock Exchange is Bakkt, just got set up. There's a futures exchange that's starting to gain some volume. But more importantly, they've got a custody solution, which is just coming online, that's going to get, approved, kind of world-class custody, which allows more and more people to feel comfortable with it.
He hopes it doesn't go down any further, at least to 6.5K. And then he shows that disgusting company Bakkt, which he needed to, as he's invested in them and most likely had a massive long. He then makes some price predictions. Wow, he was spot on. Does it sound like he has connections to someone in the market, USDT? I mean, that is exactly what happened to the price. So in my opinion, with his connections to USDT, he was told about another massive pump. He was told about the dumps. All these insiders share info. But in my opinion, Asia, especially the Chinese exchanges, they are playing their own game. It's a battle of the manipulators right now. East, West, American, European, Chinese, Korean, it doesn't matter. Who do I want to win? None of them. They all suck. USDT, Bakkt, Western centralized exchanges, Eastern centralized exchanges. Shoot any centralized option. I'm putting my bets on the one on the sideline, the DEXs, which puts the power of crypto where it belongs, back in your hands. Cheers. I'll see you next time.